All right, Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. First and foremost, we're going to face the east and give all praises to Barak Yahawah. Barak Yahawashi. Barak Yahawah. Barak Yahawashi. Barak Yahawah. Barak Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Bahasham, Qadash. Want to give double honors to the elders and apostles. The great millstone led me to this truth. I've been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness. And mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the elect, to the hopeful elect. Lord willing, we part of that number. Lord willing, is beatifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord and are striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 5. It is not slack. 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse 9. And it's unto a ring. 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, verse 42. The Lord willing is edifying to the flock. It's not going to be the fastest camp that it's not going to be the longest camp. You know, I got to be back to plantation at 5, but I want to do a little bit. Took me a second to get over here. But, you know, Lord willing, tomorrow I got a double. But Lord willing, in between my break, if it's long enough, I can come do the rest of this camp and finish out the session that I learned about how to deal with your brothers. But if someone's not acting like a brother, then you can't deal with it. All right. Eventually, you know, if you go, you know, and sometimes that's my problem. Sometimes I have too much forbearance, and I sit here and try to express my charity to someone too long. You know, I take months sometimes trying to convince somebody or show somebody things and try to be patient with them. But if they just not taking what you're telling them and then holding on to that and applying what you're telling them, then it's for no reason, man. You're wasting your time. You know, we're not here to waste no time. We're here to serve Yahawashi and look out for the brothers that really are sincere and want to actually be in this truth, not to stop the truth, not to make the prophets' lives harder. You know, like the elders and apostles. You know. A great millstone, man. We're not supposed to make things more difficult for them, man. But we know in this flesh, things don't always go smoothly. But you got to keep moving. So, as I was saying in my last lesson, where I started back, you know, this is where you have simple conversations with a brother. But if it's someone, you know, who's a Jake, and they're not really still realizing or grasping the seriousness of this, then you gotta let them go do their own thing, man. But you're gonna end up hindering yourself and putting yourself in a situation that things can get carnal, man. And we trying to be less carnal as possible, man. We don't want to have to deal with that shit or have contentions with people. We want to be at peace, but we are here to defend the gospel. We are here to fight for Yahawashi. You know? That's the main number one thing. That's what we're born to do. Serve Yahawashi. If you ain't trying to do that, then you shouldn't really be trying to come around other people who are like that. That's what we're here for. You know? And that's the way we got to think about it. Like, if they're not doing what we're doing, why would we concern ourselves with people who are not doing what we're doing? We got to stay around the elders and apostles, especially as us young brothers like me, first and foremost, who still needs guidance. I still need training, and I'm going to always need training. Ain't none of us is going to be 100% ready for Jacob's trouble, man. This is a time that's coming, and we focused on, you know, how to keep the Lord from judging us, man. We don't want to sit here and try to help somebody else, and then they make it harder for us. It should be making it easier for us, man. But it's this flesh, man. So I ain't mad about nothing, but you've got to understand where we're coming from, man. We're not here to play around. You know, we're not here for views. We're not here for likes. We're here for who is seriously serving Yahawashi to the death, man. If we got to die. All right. So, like it says, if it hinders the church, or it's something that bothers, you know, or something that is like, you know, a brother needs to take note of, it can be a simple conversation, but sometimes it can get out of hand too. So you got to be careful. You know, instead of building anger and frustration, you know, which sometimes that is what you will have to deal with. But we're going to deal with it as men in the Lord, you know, and that don't mean that sometimes if we get into a scruffle with somebody, hey man, it happens. But we're going to try to do everything for it not to be. But it's all about the situation, man. And we try to not do stuff like that, man. We try not to get in altercations, especially with Jake, man. But Jake they take it so offensive that we teaching this word. They take it so offensive that we serving Yahawashi. What is it to you? You gonna get mad because I don't want to do what the fuck you want to do? That don't make no sense, man. But the Lord said we will be hated for his sake. So if you coming into this truth, you got to be ready to basically anybody who is going to go against Yahawashi, you got to be ready to let that person go, man. If they don't want to get in order, man. You know? And that's the complex simplicity of it, man. So, you know, it won't be easy situation to go through. There's many challenges that come with being a servant and prisoner of Yahawashi, right? And there's certain things you will have to put up with, and you can't have like this I didn't sign up for this type spirit. You can't have that kind of spirit. You know, you're in or out. You know, it will be a beautiful experience, but you will be met with challenges of the flesh, man. You know, we all have and all the time, you know, we all had our time here being lost in America, Babylon the Great. And I want to pull up a precept about that. This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 4. And it reads, nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee because thou hast left thy first love. This is our first love, these scriptures. You know? This is our first love. This is what we're supposed to be doing on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, so much on a regular basis, it's every day. This is Hebrews chapter 13 or 3 verse 13. And it reads, but exhort one another daily while it was called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. So for us to not fall back into the world, for us to not fall back into sin, we have to deal with people who are trying to enter into the fold. That's what we're supposed to deal with. We're not supposed to be dealing with anybody else, because we can end up falling back into the world. We can end up doing things that we know we're not supposed to be doing, because that's what the world's doing. They're doing things that they know they're not supposed to be doing. And the more we can put ourselves around them, you know, the more we disobey Yahawashi. Because he said, what did he say? He said, do not be equally yoked with unbelievers. And they take it that as like we being holy or too over holy. No, that's something that can be simply done. I don't mean me being too over righteous. That's me doing what Yahawashi says to do, because I have the power to do that. I have the choice to do that. You know, just like the rest of us. We don't have to hang out with somebody. We're not obligated to hang out with nobody. Do what you want to do. There ain't nobody holding you captive over here. If you want to not serve Yahawashi, don't. but don't expect us to come live with you in your lasciviousness and chill with you in your sins. We don't want to be a part of that because we know that all our job is to do is warn and get out the way if they don't want to do it. But the Lord ain't playing, man. So like I said, the test for your face and salvation shall rise on a regular basis, man. You will be tested, but don't run from simple conversations. Even if a brother rubs you the wrong way, it's still a delicate way to have a conversation. And sometimes we mess up, or sometimes we got to defend ourselves because sometimes, even someone who understands the truth and maybe not considered a brother yet because they haven't even done nothing yet. They haven't even proven themselves. You have to prove yourselves in this. And that's what people don't understand. They think it's just you just automatically get into the graces of Yahawashi. You have to prove yourself, man. I have to prove myself. And if you coming at me in a way where I'm like, man, eventually, I can't just keep letting you do that, man. I gotta fight back. And that's just talking about period, spiritually or carnally, man. But we do everything we do to be at peace with all men. But if it's a man that just don't give a fuck and just keep pushing your ass, hey, man, I'm Jake too, man. I'm out here struggling too, man. You got to understand that, But it's just something that the Lord's putting the spirit on me to deal with because this is some things that I'm working on. You see? So I'm coming in, exhorting other brothers. Be careful, man. Especially when you meet other brothers, because we out here trying to push this truth. We out here trying to tell people, the things they could, be considered a potential brother. But they have to prove themselves. And until then, they still an enemy of Yahawashi, man. And they think that's a game, man. That ain't no fucking joke. That's a very serious offense. And the end is very near. This is not the time to be playing with Yahawashi. But and sometimes the Lord won't take it away and you must endure. So sometimes you might have a contention with a brother and the Lord might actually put the spirit on him and he stay around and you got to deal with him. But you also want to listen to your elders and apostles and they're going to let you know if that is somebody to keep putting your time into. But really, mainly, after you just spend a couple months trying to work with that person, that's sometimes way even longer than that, man. You got to just leave it alone, man. Because if you don't, it's just going to be more trouble for you. But the Lord had control over the situation. It wasn't, it's not no contention or nothing, but it's like, I'm not gonna hide the truth. I'm not gonna act like I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm not gonna hold back my sword. I'm gonna tell you what the Lord said. And if you're not with it, then why would we beat it around each other? This is a serious situation that we're getting in. I want to be around like-minded brothers during Jacob's trouble. I don't want to be around somebody who's going to betray me. I don't want to be around somebody I got to look over my shoulder. Same way with another brother. So 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier, as a Mashiach Yahawashi. So we're supposed to be soldiers, man. This is a spiritual military. We're supposed to be soldiers. We're not out here playing around, man. We follow orders and do what we're supposed to do and serve him to the best of our abilities. If you're not into doing that, then we have to separate. That's just how it goes, man. But rebuke is love. So if we're to try to warn you or tell you or something, it's like we trying to help you. But this world thinks we're not because they don't have the light of Yahawashi in them, man. It ends up being a problem. So it's a strong definition for endure. Without therefore endure hardness. This is a hard road, man. It's not easy for Jake out here, man. It's gonna be a hard road. So if you're gonna get into this truth, be ready. Because you're gonna get tested very severely. It's gonna be a real test, man. But his Lord said he's not gonna give us something that we can't handle. The elect, that is, Lord will be part of that number. We're not sure if we are, but we're hoping to be. A papateo, right? That word endure means be afflicted, endure affliction, suffer, trouble. You suffer, endure evil, hardship, troubles, to be afflicted. And that's what we try to endure to the best of our abilities, man. And sometimes we do lose ourselves, man, because people don't understand what it means to have the burdens of Yahawashi to be a prophet, man. They don't understand that you can push us to the end too. We can't just literally let you just fucking push over us, man. But eventually, we're gonna take off on your ass or something, man. And we're not trying to do that shit. But if you just like threatening and being like hostile and being like to where it's like, damn, I ain't got no other choice but to defend myself, then it's gotta be known like, hey man, you know? But it's like, at the same time, even in those situations, I still try to do my best. And most of the time I succeed in not letting you know, my anger get the best of me, man. Or and it wasn't even really like I had anger. It was like I was getting threatened too many times. Right? And I should have just been like, the first time dude threatened me, I was like, hey, I ain't rocking with you, bro, like that no more. We ain't talking about the truth no more. But I kept trying to be long-suffering and enduring. But there's a limit to that, man. If they're not showing no effort, hey, you got to just stop talking to the truth about it. They're not gonna get it, man. You know, just because somebody don't get the truth don't mean we got to be beefing. But you know, it's like Jake make everything a fucking competition, man. We're here to try to fucking get saved. That's what we're here for. We're not here to be better than the next man next to us. We're here to lift up our brothers, man. Shalom, love. So, you know, suffering through trouble is what you have to do as a prophet, man. You have to suffer through trouble. You have to suffer through things that, you know, that normally the flesh doesn't want to go through, because the flesh wants things to go smooth. The Lord bring us here to what? Suffer for Yahawashi and learn why we don't need to be running the kingdom like this fucking shithole, man. So, first and foremost, pray for the brother, or whatever be the situation. So we try to pray for our brothers whenever things do go wrong, if things get tough. We try to pray for those who are less fortunate than us, you know. But it said for 2/3, it said pray not for their good, man. So if you had a 2/3 spirit and you on that bullshit, we're not praying for that. We're praying for the people who are sincere for Yahawashi. Okay, we're not praying for everybody. And some people, we praying for their downfall, like Esau eating the so-called white man. So there's a balance, man. There's a balance. We ain't just always all fucking nice. Sometimes we can get rough. We men. It also talks about if you get in a scrapple with a person and you don't kill him and you just lump him up and he heal up, hey, Lord's cool with that. But we don't try to do that, man. We are here to teach the gospel, period. But if somebody just keep pushing us, eventually we gonna snap too. We still in this flesh too, man. I ain't acting like I'm no saint. The people that know me since I started, they know that all the stuff I went through a struggle coming to this point. And I still struggle today. Trying to be the best I can for Yahawashi. So ultimately, you have to be long-suffering and patient, you know, depending on the person. And that has a limit. That can be cut. Depending on whoever you're long-suffering and patient for, it depends on their reaction. Because that's the thing about Jake. They don't want to hold themselves accountable for their actions. That's why the Lord said, don't drink too much because it'll cause bitterness. Don't do that kind of stuff, because if you're a person who has those problems and you black out when you drink or whatever and you can't remember shit, then maybe you shouldn't be drinking that much. You know what I'm saying? You can't say, oh, fuck, I fucked up and I was drinking too much and then do some shit and don't feel like you're not going to be held accountable for it. You got to be held accountable for everything you do. Same way with me, man. Same way with all of us. We all should be held accountable for how we conduct ourselves in this truth, man. It's not a game. You know? I'm in this to try to shed light. You know, I'm not in this to try to shed blood, man. No, I want to be a prophet, man. It's a rock. Chapter 10, verse 6. Like, I don't find no joy in that, man. That ain't nothing. It's coming out to nothing, man. It's not no good for brothers, man. If you really call somebody a brother, that's not how brothers treat each other, man. But sometimes brothers get into it. It is what it is, man. It's Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 6. Bear not hatred to thy neighbor for every wrong. Now, we don't get mad at everything, but, you know, if you're doing the same offense over and over and over again, and you being told to not do it, then that's the shit we're going to point out. Like, hey, I said that shit 2-3 weeks ago. Don't do that shit. You know, and they still doing the shit. We're going to have to stop fucking with you. You know, that's what it is. And do nothing at all by injurious practices. See? So we try to do our best to be that way, but we in our captivity, we practicing these righteous acts. And some brothers is better at other brothers at some things. So that's why it's good to, you know, when you have faithful men of the Lord around you, to really listen to what they say in situations that you deal hardly with, because it's probably easier for them. So when you listen to them, especially our elders, they're going to let you know how to conduct yourselves the next time it happens. And you can actually prevent it before that situation happens. You'll be able to see it. And that's what I was saying. Like, this whole thing of these struggles is to show us how to apply these scriptures better and better as we go. So I only got about 5 more minutes. And I still got about 10 minutes to ride over to the plantation. So I'm going to do a couple more precepts. And then, Lord willing, I can have the other half part of this tomorrow after I get off work from my double. I thought I would be able to get off early tonight, but I got to close, and that takes like, you know, another like hour, 2 hours. I won't get out till 11 or something, and I can't do camp that late. You know, my elders already put a decree out for me not to be doing camp that late, so I'm not going to do camp that late. So don't get on a brother for everything, you know. But some things, yeah, if they keep doing that damn shit, you got to get at them, man, especially if it's hindering what you got going on or the people around you, the brothers around you, if it's hindering the ministry. So we all make mistakes, you know, but don't put hatred to every brother's wrong, because some brothers are just crazy as hell. And that just shows they need Yahawah, Yahawashi. But if they rejecting Yahawah, Yahawashi, they not a brother, man. So that don't mean that they won't be held accountable for what they did. And if they don't listen to Yahawah, Yahawashi, and they don't believe in Yahawah, Yahawashi, what does it mean? It means they're not even repenting for the wrongs that they're doing. We're supposed to be repenting daily, okay? Even if it's in our minds, or if we get time to go do it privately. We're supposed to be repenting daily with our words and our actions, you know? Because there's going to be times we screw up, man. So, you know, and the same goes for us, man. We are held accountable. So if you do everything in forbearing and long-suffering way, dealing with someone, you know, with a sincere brother, that's what it's about, the sincere men of Yahawah, Yahawashi, you know, they will have to answer to Yahawashi for their transgressions to be forgiven. So that's their job. If a brother does you wrong and you forbear that and you let it go, you know, certain times, that doesn't mean that the Lord's not going to deal with that. You have to go and repent. It's very serious offenses that you do when you fuck with Yahawah, Yahawashi's prophets. He said, how you do these people, how you do my prophets is how you do me. The least one of these brothers. The least one of these little ones. You offend them, you offending Yahawashi. That's who he's coming to get. So we don't want to hold offense to someone who the Lord actually is trying to mold to a man of the Lord. You know? So we do our best not to have no contention, because we don't know who the elect is. So, Lord willing, you know, that particular brother receives mercy, you know, and Lord willing, so do we, man. We want mercy from Yahawashi, you know? So this is a very short camp. Lock it. I'm gonna cut it short. Because if I don't, I'm not gonna make it to the plantation. But you know, if I could do it when I got off, I would. But I'm not getting off at 9. I'm gonna get off at like 11. So I can't do it till tomorrow morning, or in the middle of either be in the morning or it'll be in the middle of my next break. You know, Lord willing, I can do it in the morning before I go to work, so I can go ahead and, you know, recap and finish this lesson out, so we can get on with some other things that the Lord's putting the Spirit on me to deal with. I know it's been a good month. I've been talking about how to deal with brothers, and it was just edifying to me, because when I first started these lessons a month ago, it got all the way to the point where, like, through this lesson, I learned things in my own walk. You know, a situation that I went through. I learned something in my own walk and how to handle brothers better because of this situation. You know, where to cut off certain things and add on certain things if it can be possible. So, the water for tuning in, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. I want to give all praises to Barak, Yahawah, Yahawashi, Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. You got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Qadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Led me to this truth. Been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, and fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the elect and to the hopeful elect. Lord willing to be part of that number. Lord willing to be edifying those who fear in the name of the Lord and strive to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their ability. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5 is not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9 is unto a ring. 2 Peter chapter 5, verse 42. Why Bible ball? I would have been able to go ahead and do this camp and finish it out, but I had some errands I had to run with the elder early, and I just, you know, I didn't have the time. I had to ride all the way around town too, so it's a lot of y'all. I know there ain't no excuses, but hey, you know, it's been a tough week, but hey, we're gonna do it for Yahawashi. We're gonna go, you know, further continue into the faith. We're not gonna get up no matter what, man. You can do whatever you want to us. We're going to serve Yahawashi in this house. Shalom.